I swear, the tree whispered my name that night. Not in a soft, innocent way, when the wind will be blowing on the leaves and you'll be hearing sound. No, like this was different. It was deliberate, like the forest had been waiting for me. Mira, that voice. Now so it take talk am. Very quiet and cracked. It sounded like a human being, and I'm not dreaming. That voice still lives in my head. My name is Mira. I was born in a small village near Kiri town in northern Nigeria, a peaceful place where people still greet each other with sanu and borrow salt without shame. Our houses are made of mud and zinc, and the air always smells of firewood and rain-soaked earth. We have a forest not far from us, Dajin Kudai. The elders call it the forest that hides itself. They say it changes shape when it doesn't want to be found. I used to laugh at that until the day I stopped. I used to think my people exaggerated when they spoke about Dajin Kudai. I grew up hearing stories of people who entered it and never returned. My grandmother used to say it doesn't just hide, it moves, sometimes closer to the village, sometimes far away, but it always comes back for something or someone. The forest stood at the edge of our village like a sleeping beast. Even from afar, you could tell it was old, older than anything we knew. The trees were thick, their roots spreading like veins across the soil. When the wind blew, the forest didn't just move, it breathed, like Okulume. No one ever went beyond the stream that cuts across its borders. It was the rule. But that rule, like many others, didn't make sense to me back then. To me, it was just a superstitious belief. I was 17 when it happened. That morning was ordinary. My mother had sent me to fetch herbs before dusk. The ones she needed grew near the edge of Dajin Kudai. "You hear me, Mira?" she said as she tied her wrapper. "Don't go beyond the stream. If the sun starts to fall, you turn back. I don't want trouble, oh." "I'll be fine, Mama," I told her. "I'll be back before Marib." She sighed, the kind of sigh only mothers give when they already know you won't listen. I left with a small basket, humming as I walked down the dusty path. Children ran past me with their slingshots. Men carried hoes home from the farm. The world felt safe. The closer I got to the forest, the quieter it became. I crossed the stream without thinking twice. The air was cooler on the other side. The smell changed, too. Damp soil mixed with something sweet like ripe fruit and smoke. I told myself I'd only go a little deeper, just enough to find the herbs. But the deeper I went, the more wrong everything started to feel. It was too quiet. No bird, no crickets, not even the buzz of mosquitoes, just my footsteps. I picked a few herbs and was about to turn back when I realized I didn't know which way I'd come from. The trees all looked the same. I walked one way, thinking I saw a familiar path, but it only led to more trees. I tried the other direction, still nothing. The forest floor looked freshly disturbed, like something had been dragging through the soil. That's when I heard it. Crunch. I froze. Then again, crunch, crunch, crunch. Footsteps, slow, behind me. "Hello!" I called out. "Who is there?" Nothing. I waited. My heart was pounding, so loud it was all I could hear. I took one step forward. Crunch. This time, it moved with me. I turned around sharply, scanning the shadows. Nothing. But one of the trees ahead caught my eye. It had marks on the bark that looked like eyes, two hollow white shapes staring right at me. I blinked hard. The shapes were gone. When I looked again, the tree was closer. I am not exaggerating. It had moved. The roots underneath it had shifted slightly, like it had dragged itself forward. My breath caught. I stumbled backward and tripped over a log. When I landed, I felt the ground pulsing. Yes, pulsing, like something alive was breathing beneath the soil. Then came the voice. "Mira." I froze. It was faint, but it was my mother's voice. It was soft and familiar. "Mira, come home." "Mama!" I whispered, "Mama, is that you?" No answer, just the whisper again. This time, closer. Mirror. Something rustled to my right. A low dragging sound. Roots scraping the ground. I didn't wait to see what it was. I picked up my basket and I ran. I ran until my legs burned and my chest hurt. Just when I thought I'd collapse, I saw a small clearing ahead. In the middle stood an old mud hut, half collapsed, blackened by time. I rushed inside and shut the wooden door behind me. The hut smelled of ashes and something else, something metallic. I tried to catch my breath, pressing my ear to the door. Outside, I heard it, the forest moving. The dragging sound circled the hut, slowly, patiently. Then, a whisper through the crack. Mira opened the door. I shook my head. My hands trembled. The voice came again, louder, clearer, and now it didn't sound like my mother anymore. It sounded like something pretending to be her. "Mira, come home." I clamped my hands over my ear and crouched in the corner. I must have stayed like that for hours, praying, crying, shaking. God, if you save me this time, I swear I will never come to this forest. At some point, everything went quiet. Then I woke up to sunlight streaming through the cracks in the wall. When I stepped out, the forest was still, silent. I didn't think. I just ran until I saw the stream again. Except this time, it wasn't where it should be. The forest had changed. I finally stumbled out into the open road that led to the village. When people saw me, they shouted like I'd come back from the dead. My mother ran to me, tears in her eyes. She said I'd been gone for 2 nights. 2 nights? I didn't believe her until I saw the bruise on my leg and the dents in my hair. That evening, something strange happened. The villagers noticed that the forest seemed closer. Trees that used to stand far behind the hills were now only a few meters from the farm. The elders gathered, muttering prayers and burning incense. One of them said, "The forest moved again." They asked where I'd gone, what I'd seen. I couldn't answer. I just said it called my name. The oldest man in the village looked at me with fear in his eyes. "Then it knows you now," he said quietly. "Once Dajin Kudai calls your name, it never forgets it." That night, I couldn't sleep. Every creak of the wind sounded like a voice. Every movement of a tree branch made my skin crawl. Around midnight, I heard it again, faint, but unmistakable. Crunch, 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 outside my window. I pulled the curtain slightly. My heart almost stopped. At the edge of the compound, I saw something like roots, black, thin, twitching, crawling across the ground. The next morning, I found a crack near the side of our hut. A small root had broken through, calling like a finger. I screamed. My mother came running, but when she looked, it was gone. The crack was still there, but no root. She said it was just my imagination. I really wanted to believe her, but every week, more cracks appeared, each one closer to my room. And sometimes, when I wake up in the night, I hear something breathing under the floor. Last month, a young boy went missing near the farm. His name was Danladi. They said he chased a goat that ran too close to the forest and never came back. When they searched, they found the goat tied to a root, still alive, but twisted in a way no human hand could tie. That same night, I dreamt of the boy standing under a tree, his mouth moving silently, his eyes white. When I woke up, I heard the whisper again. 3 nights ago, I dreamt that I was back in the forest. Only this time, it was different. The trees had faces. Some wept, some smiled. In the middle of them stood a tall shadow. Its body looked like tree bark, its fingers like roots. It tilted its head and spoke with many voices, all the voices of people who had vanished into the forest. "Mira," it said, "you came once, you must come again." I screamed, but my voice sounded I screamed, but my voice sounded distant. The shadow smiled and said, "We are closer now." When I woke up, My pillow was covered in dirt, real dirt. And when I looked outside my window, I saw it, the forest line. It's only a few steps from my compound now. Tonight, I can't sleep again. The air feels heavy. The cricket had stopped singing. Even the dogs are quiet. I hear something moving outside, slow, deliberate, the crunch of roots dragging against dry earth. Then, a whisper. Mira, it's time. I don't want to look, but I can see shadows on my wall, long, reaching, twisting. If the forest really can speak, then tonight it's coming for me. And maybe this time I will answer when it calls. Because sometimes when the forest speaks your name, it's not asking, it's summoning.